Hey, everybody, welcome back for day 84 of 100 Days of Halloween. I hope you are well and enjoying your week so far. And for those of you who are not doing 100 Days of Halloween, well, happy Tuesday. But you are here for an update on what is going on with our big venture of the 100 Days of Halloween. So, I do have some new people here. I'll give you a real quick rundown and then we'll get into the gist of why we're here. So, my lovely yarny friend and sister Ranee over at the Woolly Llama shop discussed with several of us on a live that she was wanting to participate in the 100 Days of Halloween leading up to Halloween. And her bright idea was to do a blanket made up of 100 squares, one for every day of the 100 days, with either a fall or Halloween themed. She had been scouring the internet, finding different crocheted squares that either had a fall or Halloween motif involved, or finding different appliques that could be put on squares. And her first thought was to do 6-inch by 6-inch granny squares. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I had been wanting to do a Halloween fall blanket for quite a while. Lifey stuff always got in the way. Just hadn't had a chance. And I thought, perfect. I'm going to join in solidarity. Let's do this. Um, so, with her scouring the interwebs and finding all of these squares and appliques, she had made this really extensive list. Each one correlates to a number in her computer, and she's drawing those numbers at random from the Jinx Jack-o'-lantern of joy and providing you guys with either a free pattern tutorial for a square or applique daily, except for Saturdays and Sundays when she works. But she's giving you a three for on Fridays so that you don't miss out on those 2 days. You can use them if you so choose, like her. She's not using them all. Um, Myself, on the other hand, I'm not using all of those. I have used some. And then what I'm doing is I'm going off inspiration, whatever I am inspired by from you guys suggesting or putting guesses in the comments as to my squares on a daily basis, taking inspiration from Rainey from some of the squares she has drawn. Sometimes I've already done an applique or a square that she draws. I'm also taking inspiration from two other yarny friends and sisters that have been participating but not making blankets, one of it which is Patricia over at the Yarny Cat Crochet. She has made several different projects. She went totally rogue. She's made a crossbody bag to carry like her cell phone and things in while she's out and about during the fall season doing festivities and things. And she made a matching scarf. Then she turned around and made an ami, and I believe she's working on other projects. We never know with her until she drops a video and says, "Surprise, look what I did." And I always look forward to those. And then we also have our little yarny friend and sister, Nova, over at Nova Gnome Creations. She's making the squares. However, she's not making a blanket with them. She is making wearables for herself and some near and dear littles in her life. She drops this video update about once a week ish. She's got a lot of lifey stuff going on, and so whenever she is able, she does do an update on her squares. We are not seeing the finished fruits of her labor with those squares until her 13 days of Halloween bash. And I am so looking forward to it. But I've taken inspiration from all three of these yarny friends and sisters. If you do not know them, please go check them out. They are always linked in these videos in the description box because they are my cohorts in crime when it comes to this 100 Days of Halloween. And then, like I said, I'm also taking inspiration from you guys, from guesses and suggestions, because what I'm doing randomly that's different from Rainey, she's drawing out pattern tutorial ideas and giving them, and she gives you sometimes different little project ideas that she finds on the interwebs for free. I, on the other hand, am drawing my squares at random. So from day to day, we never know what color square we're going to be working with. I started off drawing them out of tried to draw them out of one of the large shopping totes from that you would get from before Joann's closed. And that did not work out so well. Trying to hold it and draw at random by myself, the bag was collapsing. So we transitioned into a cardboard box that has been affectionately nicknamed the Boo Box of Fate. So, um, we have already completed squares 1 through 83. Well, 80. I'm batching them in groups of 10, and each time I get 10 done, I do a video short recap so that I can get that uploaded for you guys to see before I feed them into my blanket. And if you are new here and do not understand why we say feed them to my blanket, you will find out. So now that we have completed 1 through 80 in the groups of 10, now we are working on the group of 10 from 81 through 90. And we started off drawing at random for day 81 a square made out of this Red Heart Super Saver jumbo stripes in the brights. I had made a bunch of these squares with a whole entire skein, except for a smidgy bit that wouldn't make a whole square, because I'm using this yarn to connect my squares together. And most all of these colors basically are in my blanket already in one way, shape, or form. So I made a bunch of squares and they were in the Boo Box of Fate. And that one of them is what we drew out. We chose to leave this one blank because I do have some appliques that are too large for just one square. And rather than not use them, because I did put the work into them, I'm going to try and strategically place some of these around the blanket um, to implement those too large appliques. So, and then at some point later, after we get that all arranged, if I do have extra appliques left over that I have sitting in, I have a little cardboard box next to my chair, and I should have brought it in. Um, if none of those were used, or not all of them, I will find little spots to put them on my blanket when it's all said and done so that they get used too. I don't want them to go to waste. So that was day 81. And then for day 82 square, we drew at random from the Boo Box of Fate this black sparkly square. It's the Red Heart Super Saver metallic. It's got the silver sparkle, not the gold. And I was trying to figure out what to put on it. And I was working on a little boy scarecrow because we already have a little girl scarecrow. And then I got a text from my uncle. He said he wanted to see a pumpkin headed scarecrow. So I quickly transitioned with the head, working on the pumpkin scarecrow. And when I was trying to put it together, it just was not looking right. It was just looking creepy and weird. And I know it's a Halloween blanket, but it just it wasn't hitting me right. So I scrapped the scarecrow part and we just turned it into a witchy little pumpkin. So that was day 82. And for I've got all the information in the description box. If there's patterns or tutorials for anything, all you got to do is look in that days. And if it's something that I freehanded, because I have freehanded a lot due to suggestions and comments from you guys and not being able to find patterns and trying to work those in, that will be in there as well so that you know that there's no pattern on the interwebs at this time. Maybe someday we'll get to them. And then for day 83 square, which was yesterday, we drew slime green. And I was digging through my little box and I had an applique in there that hadn't been used. And I started sewing all the pieces on because it was in like 5 pieces. And it just looked too plain. So that I started off by putting this squirrel, which to me looks like a fox, but we're going with it. Maybe it's just the way, maybe the head shape didn't turn out so right, but it's okay. It's okay. It's a Halloween blanket. It was just looking too plain. So I tried to find the smallest little acorn applique that I could. And the squirrel applique is from Maria's Blue Crayon. All the information's in the description box. And the mini acorn applique is from Itchin' for Some Stitchin'. And I just made two of them so that it wouldn't, yeah, because it was just looking plain. And then I was going to put a leaf, and the all the leaves were just so large, it was making this thing look like a weird little chipmunk. So we just nixed the whole leaf idea and just did the squirrel with the acorns. So that was day 83. And then for today's square, we drew at random electric blue. Um, and I figured out what blue this is from. It's not really turquoise. It's called neon blue, and it's from Hirschner's, the neon line. It was left over from when I was doing my, what blanket was I was using it, I think it was a hospice blanket actually, but I didn't use it with other neon colors. I was using it for something else. And so there was that. So I was trying to figure out what to put on it. And then I had an epiphany. I did have an applique that I had worked on that was in my little cardboard box, and it was a suggestion by one of you guys, and I had worked it up when she first commented that on a video. Was it last week or the week before? I cannot remember what day because I wrote it on my little list of inspiration from you guys. And we had been using these little ghosty, like trick-or-treaters, and there was a whole set of 5 from a pattern that was to make a banner. And basically, the little ghosties had Halloween costumes on. The first one we used was the Franken ghosty. I think that was even in the first week. So cute. And I have all these made up. And then we used the pumpkin ghosty, which is one holding a pumpkin. I just made extra to make him look like he was in a pumpkin patch. Then we used the witch ghosty. And recently, what was the other one we did? The vampire ghosty. So that left, we still have a pirate ghosty in the box. Well, one of you guys had suggested something. So I used the same little ghosty pattern, and I believe it's from the caffeinated snail. I'll have to check. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe I have it on here. Yes, the caffeinated snail. And I will put that link in the description box. However, how I did this ghosty is not in her pattern. I went off the inspiration from Sharon Sutcliffe. And she said she wanted, I do believe it was maybe when we put in the vampire ghosty. She wanted to see me do a ghost kitty cat. So I used the same little ghosty pattern for the body part. And I just made little black ears, because I'm all about the black kitties, and a little tail. Put the little safety eyes on that I smushed on the back so you can't tell they're on there. And then I just put in some little whiskers. And I think he turned out so cute. Thank you, Sharon, for the inspiration and suggesting that I do a little ghost kitty. And it made me think of so many other ideas that I could do with these ghosty patterns. But now that we're ticking down, and as of today, we only have 16 more days of squares left, I don't know how much more room I'm going to have, because I'm already trying to work on another applique from a suggestion from Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming yesterday that I really want to do. So we will see. We will see. Because I'm all about the black kitties. I'm all about the ghosties. I think they're super adorable. And we forgot to read what you guys said. We'll just go ahead and read them anyway. So I've got it pulled up. Let me get to the comments. There they are. Ranee from the Woolly Llama Shop said a harvest moon with a face is my guess. Your squirrel and acorns are too cute. Thank you. Karen Smith said, "Oh, hey, Lady O, I love your squirrel. How about the white kitty?" Um, yeah, I think you suggested that before, doing a white kitty instead of a black one. Um, that one's kind of white, except for the ears and the tail, but I know that's not what you're thinking of. But I do love this one. I do. And I'm glad Sharon suggested it because I think it turned out super cute. Um Cynthia said your square is very cute. Thank you, Cynthia. Lisa said hi, Missy. Hi, Lisa. Ellen saying hi. She loves the square. Hi, my uh yeah, Ellen, if you don't know Ellen, she is from Ellen's Crochet, and she basically is my troublemaking twin. Um, it's probably a good thing we don't live near each other because that would be a whole lot more trouble than we already are. And then we have Patricia from the Yarny Cat Crochet. She says, "Hi, Missy. Hi, Patricia. There, there is a really cute calico kitty called Venus, the two-faced cat that is adorable and would be perfect for your Halloween blanket. Ugly Halloween sweater is genius, Ranee." Yes, Ranee suggested an ugly sweater yesterday, like you do the ugly Christmas sweater thing, but since we're doing Halloween, ugly Halloween sweater, and I'm trying to figure that one out too. So yes, it is genius, and hopefully we can get it implemented. She said he's a Pokemon Squirrox, and I love him. I think you should use your list suggestions for the blue square. And I did. I I took Sharon's suggestion because I thought it sounded super cute, and of course we need more kitties. And for those of you who are new, this is why we say feeding my blanket. It is loaded, and I do mean loaded with a bunch of different kinds of black kitties. So, and we don't have a blanket update today. I have not added another row yet. I need to record the video recap real quick and get it uploaded before I can add those onto the blanket. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Because I have squares sitting in the box just ready to go. And that was all of the suggestions. Thank you guys. So, without further ado, let's draw out the random square for, let me sit this over here so I don't have a yarn blanch. Let's draw out the random square from the Boo Box for tomorrow's square and see what we will be working with. We're getting down to limited squares, and hopefully it's not one that we've already drawn as of late. Oh, we just did that one. We are not doing two back-to-back, and I told you, it's getting... All right. All righty. Okay, I guess we're working with this one. But we just did one. You guys, I don't know. I don't know. we we'll do it. Will we put something on it? I don't know. You guys put your suggestions in the description box and see. Because we can always toss this one out and make one um that I haven't made yet that I don't know. You guys put your suggestions in the description box. I've seen this one too many times. I don't even know why I made so many. I don't know. But yeah, this is going to be for day 85, maybe. You never know with me. I am known to go rogue. If you are new here, you never know what I'm going to do from day to day. So, day 85, I guess, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, I guess with that, guys, I am going to let you guys go, and I will see you back tomorrow for day 85 to see what we did. So, with that, I love you guys bunches. Go check out my Yarny friends and sisters. If you don't know them, you will absolutely adore them. I do. And with that, I shall say goodbye and see you tomorrow.